Hey, Matt Guidon here from beautiful Coffs Harbour in Australia. On a beautiful May day. This is late autumn here in Australia. Supposed to be cooling down, but the sun is shining outside and it's about 25 degrees. It is so nice. I'm a Karatbar affiliate with the Protection Through Gold team, and this is the best team. You should join it. We have the best leaders and we are looked after so well. I can only rave about our leaders. I've been reading a book lately, and it's a book that's really intrigued me, and I want to put a few thoughts in your mind today. Maybe you've noticed it before, but what we actually think matters, and even we are what we think. We really are. And this book is called Switch On Your Brain. This video is not going to be a book review, but this book is really changing me. Switch On Your Brain. When I first read the title, I thought, okay, it sounds good. I could do with a bit of switching on of my brain. But as I read into it, it got more and more intriguing and interesting, and I thought, I need to share this. It's written by a lady called Dr. Caroline Leaf, and that's what she looks like. She's got a picture here. I'm going to quickly read a bit about her, so you get a bit of a background. Since 1985, Dr. Caroline Leaf, a communication pathologist and audiologist, has worked in the area of cognitive neuroscience. She has specialized in traumatic brain injury and learning disabilities, focusing specifically on the science of thought as it pertains to thinking and learning. She developed the geodesic information processing theory and did some of the initial research in neuroplasticity back in the 90s, showing how the mind can change the brain. She applied the findings of her research in clinical practice for nearly 20 years and now lectures and preaches around the world on these topics. She is a prolific author and of many books, articles and scientific articles. This book goes through how we think, and I just want to give you a thought. How about if what we think in our brain actually develops into a physical thing? Our thoughts are physical reality. And I'm going to look into this a little bit more, what this book says about it. A couple of the chapters in these books are Mind Controls Matter, Choice and Your Multiple Perspective Advantage, Your Choices Change Your Brain, Catch Those Thoughts, Entering into Directed Rest, Stop Milkshake Multitasking, that is interesting, Thinking, God and the Quantum Physics Brain, The Science of Thought. That's the part one. In part two, she actually goes into what she calls the 21-day brain detox plan, and she explains how we can get rid of bad thoughts or bad thought patterns and replace those with good thought patterns or good thoughts. I'm at the point in the book now where I'm in the middle of second part and I'm actually practicing this, and it doesn't have to be really bad stuff in your life. It can just be a bad thought habit that you want to kick and replace it with something better. Well, what I said before, that our thoughts actually are a physical reality. What she says in the book is that the mind controls the brain. So what we think actually eventually will grow in the brain in little. She's got a little picture here. So this is what she grows, what she calls the bumps, lollipops and mushrooms, and that's a little paragraph I want to read out here in this video. In the brain, automation physically looks like lots more tree branches that are thick and well established, with many branches interconnecting with other thought networks. And if you could zoom in closely to the connections the branches grow from, you would see little things called spines. These spines change shape from a bump around 7 days to a lollipop shape around 14 days to a mushroom shape at around 21 days, as the thought becomes stronger. This is because the protein change progressively by day 21, with peak changes being at 7 and 14 days to become self-sustaining proteins, which are like a long-term memory. This applies in both the negative and positive direction. This is the concept of the plastic paradox I spoke of earlier, and even a long-term memory can be broken down. If after wiring out a toxic thought, you have stopped using the healthy new thought and revert back to the toxic thought, you reverse the process you went through in the first place, breaking down the healthy thought and rebuilding the toxic thought. This is why we need to make a choice to be alert, practicing the presence of God by sharpening our conscience and listening to our intuition. This is what creates a lifestyle of renewing the mind. So at the end of 21 days, you integrate the new healthy thought into your lifestyle, into your repertoire of reactions to life, that you keep strengthening that reaction. It can take anywhere from 3 to 4 21-day cycles to automate the new healthy thought pattern and to make sure the toxic thought doesn't grow back. A lot also depends on the individual, the thought pattern you are detoxing and the healthy replacement pattern you are building. So for some thoughts it might take 1 21-day cycle, and for other thoughts it might take more, as I explained earlier. This is obviously from the context of the book, and probably well off for you to read it yourself if you're interested in these kind of things. What actually made me sharing this is because in the Protection Through Gold team we are getting strongly encouraged to develop ourselves and to develop our skills in communications, in leadership, and also personal habits. And it all starts in your head. And if you can control what you think and you're friends with your thought life, you're not an enemy of your thought life. If you like what you think, and if you can train yourself to think what you want to think, you will be very well off. And that's what I'm trying to do. And that will put me on a path of growth. And as we know, it always takes a huge effort to change something in our lives. We will never break a habit overnight and start something the next day. It's a process and it takes time. But this book explains what goes off, what actually happens and what has to happen in order for our mind to be able to change and to continually grow and to develop. I have found in my life that it takes, When I came to Australia in 1987, my English was very basic, and I always spoke of the 3-week window. Even before reading this book, it's quite interesting. I found that when I learned new words or new way of saying something, quite often it's not just the words, but it's also the sentences that you want to say, the context and the putting of the words. That when you learn a new language, it's hard to express yourself because sentences might be connected differently. And when I discovered something as I was learning the new language, this English for me, I always spoke about the 3-week window, where that's the time it took for me to grab hold of a new concept and actually having it mastered, by being able to put it into practice. And this book was somewhat confirming what I had experienced, and this 3-week window where you actually discover something and then you start putting into practice, and it slowly develops into something new, and it eventually becomes a habit. Habits are not overnight developed. I just want to encourage you in your personal journey, and Karatbars is an amazing opportunity. I've decided to go with building my business online, and it is fun. I'm learning daily and I'm passing my knowledge on as I go, and I hope that you have been able to get something out of this video. I want to stop now because I'm just going to bore you if I say anything more. Alright, so thanks very much for watching this, and I hope that this has helped you. Have a good day. Bye.